Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video on the channel. Today we are talking about Nottingham Forest 2, Birmingham City 0 and Forest's promotion chances. And I'm not just talking about the playoffs, I'm seriously talking about automatic promotion. I know there might be Forest fans watching saying, oh, I don't want to get carried away, I don't want to put pressure on us, but you can't deny Forest are in a very strong position now. So we're going to talk about the game, we're going to talk about the upcoming fixtures and the table itself. Let's start with the game today. Forest came into this as massive favourites and they did deliver. Once again, I watched this game, I watched them play Coventry in the week as well, and there's something very special going on at Nottingham Forest. Everything seemed to click today and against Coventry, and what I've noticed when I have watched Forest in recent weeks is they can be dazzling, and even on games where they're not 100% at it, they still grind out the win. And that for me is the sign of a team who can get promoted and really should get automatically promoted. So Forest won this game 2-0 against Birmingham City and they were the better team. It got off to a perfect start really. The goal went in on 5 minutes. The goal coming through Keenan Davis, an assist from Brennan Johnson, what a shock. And Scott McKenna wrapped it up on 80 minutes with an assist from Garner. The stats do suggest Forest were the better team. It is worth me pointing out during this game as well, Birmingham City goalkeeper Etheridge did go off with a very nasty looking injury. So I'm sure both Forest and Birmingham City fans are going to wish him the best, and we wait to see what the outcome is when he gets to the hospital, obviously. So, yeah, wishing him the best. It was fairly routine for Forest. Birmingham City did trouble them a little bit, but it felt like Forest's chances were certainly more dangerous. If you look at the stats there, they had more shots, more possession, more corners as well. Big chances, it says it was 1 apiece, so Birmingham City maybe feel like they could have got something, but it was one of them where Forest are the home team, they had the crowd up, they're in form, they got the job done. And what was very worth pointing out today as well is the early kickoff ended Bournemouth 0, Sheffield United 0, or should I say Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 0, because Sheffield United were the home team. And what it's done to the table is big. You can see Forest have moved up to 3rd place now, right on the tails of AFC Bournemouth there. Look, there's 7 games to go. It is certainly in Bournemouth's hands, but what's worth pointing out is the form of Forest. You can see their last 5 games, 5 straight wins against some decent teams as well. 6 points in it, and another thing to point out is Forest still have to play Bournemouth. So Bournemouth are bobbling around things okay, but they're certainly not going at it like Forest are. Like I say, it's in Bournemouth's hands, but if they were to slip up, and especially against Forest, then Forest will certainly take it from them. It looks like it will be close. That Bournemouth Forest game does come the week before the final week, and it's basically a question of, can Forest get within 3 points of them going into that game? I know Forest are away, but Forest have been good at home and away this season. So if they can go to Bournemouth only 3 points or less behind them, they could certainly jump into 2nd place before that game against Hull, which is their last fixture. Let's show you what Forest have to come then. So if we go through Forest fixtures before we go through Bournemouth's, Forest have Luton Town. Now that's not an easy game. Luton could jump above Forest before that game comes around because Luton play Huddersfield on the Monday, which isn't an easy game. It could take some stuffing out of Luton, and it does mean Forest will have more time to rest before that game. They then play West Bromwich Albion, who've been a bit hit and miss, but you'd fancy Forest at home to an inconsistent Baggies. They did draw 0-0 at the Hawthorns, but that was before Forest got really good. Then they got Peterborough away. Peterborough are fighting for their lives, but you'd imagine Forest should win there. The word banana skin does come to mind, but Forest are above banana skins this season. Then they play Fulham. Now that's not an easy game. Fulham could already be promoted by then, so Forest might fancy their chances of getting something there. It could be one of those games where Forest take a draw and see that as a good result. I think that could be the case. Then play Swansea, which is Steve Cooper against his former team. Very interesting fixture, that one. And then the final run-in includes Bournemouth and an away game to Hull City. Like I say, if they can go into those games within striking distance, then they certainly have a chance. It's worth comparing it to AFC Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth's fixtures are not even as kind as Forest's. Bournemouth have Middlesbrough, who are certainly fighting for something. Then they go away to Coventry, which, like I say, going away to Coventry is never easy. Fulham at home, not easy. Swansea away, could be tricky. Swansea are in decent form. Blackburn away. Blackburn are certainly fighting for something this season. And then their final 2 games are Forest and the final day against Millwall, who, like I say, they could be in the battle for 6th place come that game. So it's very interesting to see how this will finish. What is interesting is it does seem to be a battle of Bournemouth have got more points on the board, but Forest are in better form. So as things stand, come the final day, they could be very, very close on points. Forest have certainly been gaining on them. You can see there in the table, Forest are 4 points clear of Blackburn Rovers now, but they're not looking down the table. Forest fans should be looking up the table. I think they've definitely got the top 6 in their hands, and with 7 games to go, a top 2 finish is definitely doable. What do I think it'll take to finish second? I think Forest, if they win 6 of 7, including a win in that Bournemouth game, I think that'd be enough. They could finish second with less than that, or they could finish third with more than that. Say Forest win all their 7 games, including against Bournemouth. If Bournemouth win all their other games, then Forest still wouldn't catch them. I know that's an unlikely scenario, but we're dealing with loads of different possibilities here. It does look like it's only 2 teams battling for second place now. Fulham look very clear. Huddersfield and Luton aren't far behind Forest, but they have played a game more and don't have the form that Forest do. Like I say, it's just a positive day all round for Forest. Forest were just brilliant today because of everything. The game plan was executed to perfection. They got the early goal and they got the late goal. It was kind of like the Coventry game. 1 goal in the first half, 1 goal in the second half. One thing I pointed out whilst watching the game was Forest have such good squad depth, and I think Steve Cooper is so smart, and the reason Forest are doing so well is because when they went 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go and then still like 12 minutes stoppage time to go, Cooper saw that as the opportunity to bring Davis off, bring Johnson off and save them for the next game. And he brought on the likes of Graben and Surridge. Now that shows the squad depth they've got because they still brought on really dangerous players. But the fact he saved these players, he's given them a good 80 minutes, but they can still be saved for the next game because the games are coming thick and fast. You need to save them. It makes things very, very interesting. The only argument I'd make against Forest, and it's something that is quite tricky to go along with as well, is the only reason Forest might not make it is if they were to become tired. Now, I don't necessarily think that'll happen, but it is worth pointing out to the Forest fans, and I'm sure they are aware of this. They went on a crazy FA Cup run, and they're going through a very busy schedule of catching up on games. So, unless Forest get tired somehow, that could be why they might not make second place. But you look at the squad depth, and I think to myself, I think they've got a very, very good chance, you know. They just look very, very well organised, and Cooper knows how to cement a top 6 place. Can he do one better and get a top 2 place? What I will say as well is, if Forest don't go up in second place, I fancy them, and I think a lot of neutrals fancy them, to go up through the playoffs. Now, it isn't a banker. Finishing third doesn't mean you go on to win the playoffs. I just think the way they're going about things is they're peaking at the right time of the season. They could still have a fall off. They could have hit their peak now and come the playoffs they fall away. I just don't think that's going to happen. Unless Forest get big injuries, I'd be surprised if they weren't to go up this season now. I'm not trying to put pressure on Forest, but I'm just saying, enjoy the moment while it's there. Forest are looking very, very good. It just looks very, very, very positive at Nottingham Forest. And like I say, the change that Steve Cooper's done there since Chris Hughton was there, unbelievable. I mean, they were actually in a relegation battle. No, it was early days, but I think it was 7 games in a row they lost. So what Cooper's done there is fantastic, and I'm very excited to see how the season ends now. Guys, do make sure to drop a like. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It is completely free to do so. Your support has been absolutely tremendous. And yeah, I guess we wait to see what will happen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. It finished here. Nottingham Forest 2, Birmingham City 0. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.